Now, next, we're going to talk about a particular pet peeve of mine. So this is something that I've seen done wrong a lot of times by user interface designers. And fundamentally, it's actually a problem that you have to solve rather than a design issue. So this is when you have text showing up on images, and especially images that change. If that text does not have enough contrast with the background image, such as over here with the us, you can't see it. And something that can't be seen, no matter how beautiful it is, nobody will be able to appreciate what you're writing, what you're saying, what you're trying to convey, because they can't see it. So how do you make text visible on your images? Well, the easiest option is obviously using a block background. So using a high opacity background just for the text. So such as in black or in a color, whatever it is, it makes the text stand out from the background image. Now, some of you might think, it's kind of ugly, what are the other ways? Well, there's actually quite a few clever ways. Now, obviously, the easiest way is that if you can control the background image, i.e. if it's never going to change, then you can adjust the color of the text as well as the color of the image background to make it stand out. I mean, this is a single design case because your image is not changing. But what do you do if that image has to change? Well, you can add a colored overlay to your image that sits between your text and your image. It's almost like putting a veil on that image to make it stand out a bit better from the text. And you can do that quite easily, whether in Photoshop, Sketch, or in code, by simply applying a single blank overlay with, say, 20% opacity. Just enough for your text to stand out without obscuring the image behind. And Google does this in their Android apps by applying a colored overlay that just gives enough contrast to the text for it to stand out from the image. Now, you can also go for a Gaussian blur that provides contrast between the blurry image and the sharp text that can also make your text stand out. But a really clever way that I've seen designers do it is like this, where you apply an overlay to the image that starts off with 0% opacity at the center midline. And then as you move downwards through the image, there's a graded opacity. So i.e. the overlay gets more and more opaque the further you go down. So this is especially useful if you know that your text is going to be placed in a fixed position relative to your image. So if it's always going to be at the bottom of your image, you can make the overlay super opaque at the bottom, say 20%, and then 0% opaque at the middle, so that you don't obscure or change the image while making your text appear sharp. So those are some of the simple ways to do it. But the thing that's really important in this situation is testing. Make sure you try out many different images that could possibly pop up, a really white image or a really black image, and make sure that it looks good and it does the job each time.